president's words were reckless, and his actions were reckless. The president's words that day at the rally endangered me and my family and everyone at the Capitol building.
Well, let's get more then on what is happening inside the Republican Party with our foreign affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, Mike Pence there, explicitly critical of Donald Trump. And he does so just hours before we expect Trump to announce that he is going to run again for re-election. So it's a strange moment, isn't it, for him to decide to do this, because it seems like the knives are really out for him within his own party.
Trump is perhaps more vulnerable right now than at any moment since really a pro-Trump insurrectionist mobs attacked the Capitol back on January 6, 2021. What Pence said really is emblematic of what this sort of rising tide of dissent within the Republican Party. Not giant yet. It's not a tsunami, but it is rising. And for many Republicans in the party, just from their own statements, it seems that the timing of this expected announcement by Donald Trump in Palm Beach in an extravaganza he's throwing for himself, it will be wee hours of the morning Europe time, about 9 p.m. There in the U.S., that he's going to run again. It couldn't be worse timing. It's coming at the moment when the Republican Party is right now in a state of disarray, doing a postmortem on an election which, as you said, went miserably. Very disappointing results for them. Even if they are on the cusp of getting the House, it will be by a much smaller majority than they thought. The Senate, the Democrats have, and they could yet pick up another seat next month in the Georgia runoff. So from the standpoint of a lot of Republicans right now, they're licking their wounds. They're trying to take a step back, see what went wrong, trying to fix things. At the same time, they're also trying to hold an election for the leadership of the House in the Congress. And into the fray comes Donald Trump making this announcement. A lot of them would have preferred, if there's ever a right time for Trump to announce he's running for them, and for a lot there isn't, they would have preferred he waited till at least after the Georgia runoff. What we're seeing when I talk about this shifting tide is this sense that Trump is more and more seen, not by everyone, as a political liability, as an albatross, as someone whose star is fading, as someone whose time has come and is past. He represents the 2020 election. People don't want to concentrate on that anymore. They want to move forward to a new era, look forward. They sense Americans are fed up with disputing and contesting the results of 2020. The polls are right now showing that the presumptive rival for a primary challenge against Trump would be the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. And some recent polls show that DeSantis would trounce Trump in Florida by 26 points, by a lot in Georgia, and in those first two votes in any primary, Iowa and New Hampshire, would also lead him by double digits. That's quite a reversal of fortune. Trump is on the back foot, even if he doesn't see it that way. Trump always thinks in his own mind that he is the presumptive nominee, the only choice, the real choice.
So it may well not be Trump then facing the Democratic candidate in 2024. And I was going to ask you, are we looking at a rematch of 2020, Biden-Trump again? What you're saying is quite possibly not, at least on the Republican side.
Perhaps on the Republicans, I'm not going to put my money on the table yet. Trump could very well end up the nominee. He's pulled it off before and surprised a lot of the bookies, so to speak. On the Democratic side, look, Joe Biden officially, he says it's his intention to run still. But there again, there's a tide sort of turning. The sentiment away from seeing Joe Biden as the presumptive nominee. Sitting presidents, usually when you assume they're going to run for a second term in their first term. You assume they're going to run. You assume they're not going to get a primary challenge. It has happened in history. But in this case, look, Bill Clinton has been out of office. Bill Clinton for over 20 years. He's now 76 years old. Just to put that in perspective, he's 4 years younger right now than Biden will be when he runs. So that gives you a sense. Biden is seen as old. The party wants new blood. A lot of people, what you're hearing, the rumblings are, it would be an historic act of nobility and leadership for Biden to rest on his successes. Many Democrats say he's fabulously successful in his first term, legislative accomplishments. Rest on those laurels, take a step back, and then he will have earned, the respect and honor that he deserves in some people's views, and that would be the best step. So there is that tide, but like I said, Biden officially has not declared. He says it's a decision he'll probably end up making next year, but for now, he wants to project the aura of a president who is going to run again, who is not stepping down, who has every intention of taking on his rival. If it be Trump, so be it.
Douglas Herbert, thanks very much indeed.